One of the greatest rivals in cricketing history takes centre stage again. Is it even an ICC tournament without Australia facing India? Travis Head is back and he is facing the men in blue. Who is going to take this one? Join me as I go through important phases of the game, talk about a couple of X Factor players, and then of course, my prediction. Phase 1. Look, if we look at these stats over here, these two are by far the most dominant when it comes to the power play batting. Of course, when you have the likes of a Rohit Sharma, a Travis Head, that's not very difficult to believe. So the bowlers' plans in this phase is going to be key. We've seen a lot of teams, we saw New Zealand and Pakistan pretty much lose the match in the second phase. But look, even New Zealand, they're not very fast starters. So if you already start slow and then you continue on slow, it's probably not going to win you a game of cricket against India. So if the Indian bowlers, I think Hardik Pandya could be key with some short ball bowling against Travis Head. If they can get Travis out early, big ups for India. At the same time, if Australia can incorporate the kind of plans that New Zealand had, getting India 37 for 3, that's going to go a long way into taking control of that match. We saw Rohit Sharma get out on one of his, if not, he's the best puller in the game. So some slower balls, that hard length, back of a length into Rohit Sharma. Who knows? Shubman Gill, he's been good so far, but I think a lot of you know that for me, it's always, is he going to perform in the big games, that big match temperament? So that's going to be very big for me. The power play, are they going to be able to get off to fast starts, or will you be able to stifle them? Because these two teams are very dependent on those power play scores. Without a doubt, the most important phase in ODI cricket is this middle phase. Like I said before, the Kane Williamson, Daryl Mitchell, the Rizwan and Saud Shakil partnership is at the end of the day what cost both those teams the matches against India. I might be crucified for it because Kane Williamson played a really good innings, but him and Daryl Mitchell, it was just too slow. Now, we know that India is probably going to go with those 4 spinners again. So now let's look at Australian batters. How do they match up against spin? They did not have a very good time of it in Sri Lanka. But, here are their averages. Here are their strike rates. Look, it's pretty decent. The one thing I will say, and I'm not sure they're going to do this, but here's what my plan would be. Matt Short not playing Cooper Conley in. That gives them an extra left-handed batter, which I think is good. I would have Cooper Conley there at the top if Travis Head goes out. I would also then probably shift up Carey. I think he's very good in the middle overs, getting those singles, rotating the strike, getting those twos, getting the odd boundary. He's a really good player of spin. Look, he's got a really good strike rate as well. Because if there was one area, one tiny little area, small moments in the match where India perhaps went a little bit off the boil, it was when Latham joined Kane Williamson. We saw a couple of wides, we saw KL making a couple of mistakes there, we saw a couple of short balls. Because look, a left-hander and a right-hander, that is going to mess with your lines a little bit. But if India get to bowl against right-handed batters for 20 overs straight, they're going to be in control of this match, especially if we look at this. Some of it's quite obvious, left-arm spinners are generally much better against right-handed batters, but you look at the wickets here and it's overwhelming. Kuldeep, Akshar, Jadeja. So get those lefties in and get them in the middle overs. For India, look, I think the question was also asked, what is the role of KL Rahul in that side? We haven't quite seen it yet, not from a batting perspective. And if you're going to have to accelerate at the end there, I can't see them putting in punt now, but I think we're all kind of waiting to see what KL Rahul's role is going to be. Shreyas Iyer, I'd said it from the start, he's going to be the man for India. Can he continue on that good form? Slow start, yes, but at the end it was his innings that made the difference. Of course, now we're going on to the final phase. Now look, Dubai is not going to be that place where you're going to come in and you're going to smack the ball over the park. We've seen Maxwell do this sometimes. He comes in and he loses his wicket very easily. Hardik Pandya's 45 balls was a masterclass on that pitch. And let me tell you, You don't need to do a hell of a lot more than that at Dubai. This is not a 300 pitch. This is not a 350 pitch. It hasn't been. We don't know what pitch we're going to get. So the way that you bat in those final 10, can there be guys like Shreyas Iyer? Can a Stephen Smith or a Labis Kakhni? You know, Inglis Carey, for me, are the two key batters. They've shown it all through the tournament. Can you accumulate enough runs? Can you set yourself and then go for a little bit of a hit? It's not going to be something insane. We're looking at the strike rates here. Look, Australia are very dangerous in that last 10 because usually what they do is they set really good platforms for their players. So the final 10 could be very important, but if you're not going to get off to if you're not going to score enough runs in that middle overs, you know, it might just all be redundant. Key players for Australia, always, Adam Zampa. If he plays well, Australia plays well. Look, a fantastic tactic by New Zealand. I think anybody who knows their salt in cricket, you know, you'll realize that that short ball, that back of a length, Hardik Pandya lost his wicket like that, Shreyas Iyer, even Rohit Sharma, who's a fantastic puller of the ball. So there's something in that pitch, when you bowl that slower ball bouncer or that back of a length, you know, this area right here that is actually quite dangerous for the Indian batters. So can those guys, you know, use that ploy effectively? And for India, like I said, if you play those 4 spinners, I can't really bet against India. I think Chakravarti was fantastic. He's been India's best spinner now for a while. If they play all 4 of those guys, it's got to be India's. So what do you think?